Hello everyone and welcome to the port town or harbor town of Mido, or Let's Play Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link. First of all, let's heal up a little bit, and if we talk to this lady over here, she gives us kind of a clue about a church bell, so we'll get to that momentarily in this episode. This old lady has nothing to say. Sometimes the villagers have nothing to tell you, and they can be kind of useless, so whatever. Now remember Error and Rudo, well, we'll go to that shortly when we get out of Mido, but he's got some information about the palace that could be useful to us. So if you didn't know how to get to the palace, the third palace, well, or the island palace, well, Error will tell you how. Now here's the church bell that she was talking about earlier. So if we use the jump spell, we can actually jump all the way up here, get a little bit of a running start, and we get up here. Over here we actually get a new and very, very useful skill. And the skill is, well, you'll see in a moment. And we don't have to use any magic for this, it's a completely free skill. And it is the down thrust, and it is one of the most useful skills in the game, I think. A lot of enemies are going to try to, well, a lot of enemies are going to be underneath you when you jump, and that way when you down thrust, you can kind of become immune to them. Definitely want some magic. This lady has nothing to offer me either, but that's alright. Bye-bye, old lady. Now remember the magic life, or the life of, the water of life, whatever the hell it is. Magic life. Sorry about that. Anyway, we need that to go into here. And we can get another spell. I don't know what I just said, like the magic water of life magic. Sorry, I had a brain fart. It happens. Let's give us some power. This gives us the fairy spell, which I will demonstrate soon enough. If not in this episode, soon enough. Basically, the fairy spell, yeah, I'll probably demonstrate in this episode. Anyways, the fairy spell turns you into a little fairy. You can float around, pass through locked doors, and go over large pits, and it's one of the spells that is required to finish the game. The life spell's not required, the jump spell is required, shield is not required, but I like how they do that. Some spells are a little auxiliary, and you're not really needed. They're not really needed. Anyways, over in Rudo, we're going to talk to Error and see what he has to say. And Error's pretty close to the entrance of the town, so that's good. You need to go on a diet, Error. So that's how we know to get to the palace there. So in case you didn't know, you know, it's nice that they give you a clue. Or at least help you out somehow. I think the difficulty in this game is not really figuring out where things are, because you get clues from that from the villagers and whatnot, but I think the difficulty is probably the enemies you have to face, and the platforming parts of the game. Now here's where the down thrust becomes very useful. Like I said, we can just jump over an enemy, down thrust, and move on our merry way. Now some enemies, some of the stronger enemies, the down thrust is not going to work well on, but there's actually a boss enemy or two where the down thrust is going to be very useful indeed. So I would say the down thrust is definitely a requirement of the game. I haven't seen any speed runs, well, non-glitched speed runs, that use the down thrust, well, sorry, that skip the down thrust. Every single speedrun I've seen that's non-glitched, you have to have the down thrust. Trust me on that one. The down thrust is also very useful on the Meg Mats here. You'll see. You can actually kill something when you're going up with the down thrust too, and I like that. By the way, we have another heart container, if I didn't mention that. And that'll be helpful, although our life and magic meter, our life and magic level are really low, but that won't be for long. I actually kind of like boosting up one stat over the other because By the time you do that, you get to higher experience levels, higher experienced areas and palaces, so that the lesser levels just fly by, you know. You don't have to play it that way, but there's actually something cool that I'm going to show you at the end of one of the palaces in one of the future episodes that happens when you max out one of the levels, or max out one of the skills. We're not going to do the Mido Palace, the Swamp Palace, just yet. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to head over towards the Island Palace for a brief field trip. And you'll see why. There's actually a decent place to grind there, and I'm going to grind there to get my attack power pretty high. I only need it to a certain point. By the way, here's King's Tomb. And if you're curious, this is how you find out it's King's Tomb. There's nothing like red jars or anything around here, but I'm going to go ahead and life myself up. And over here we actually have a red jar, in case you need it. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And let's go ahead and head over to the Island Palace. This is why we need to spell Fairy, because you get over to this cliff and you're like, well, how the hell do I get up? Well, yeah, Fairy. And of course, you have to go through all 6 palaces anyway. You can't really skip any of them. Yeah, I know I skipped Parappa Palace a little bit, but we'll rectify that situation, just because I like to show something off there. Sometimes I like to be ridiculously overpowered for easy boss enemies, if you know what I mean. Now over here is a great spot to grind for experience, because you just go over here and the first Iron Knuckle statue will either give you a red jar or a red Iron Knuckle. The red Iron Knuckle gives you 100 experience points. And if your attack power is decent enough, it doesn't take very long at all to get rid of them. And you can just go back and forth on and off screen here, or on and off, or in and out of the palace rather, and kill the Iron Knuckle. 3 hits and he's done. So I'm going to grind for that, and now we're at attack power of 7. And you'll notice, you'll see the next experience level is 8,000 points, which isn't going to happen for a while if we just ground normally. And so I'm going to use one of the palaces to my advantage. Most definitely. Well, one of the features of the palaces, that is. Geronimo! Link can obviously survive halls of infinite height. Sorry, falls of infinite height. Did I say halls or falls? Well, whatever. I'm sure somebody in the comments will correct me or get annoyed at it. Whatever. People are always going to be more likely to correct you than help you. That's very true. But I take it in stride, you know. Now over here is another 1-up doll, in case you need it. I remember when I was first playing this game a long time ago, I would save the 1-up dolls for the very end of the game, just because, you know, I didn't want to die. Anyways, I'm moving over to Parappa Palace right now, and we're going to finish off Parappa Palace for the last part of this episode. Now down here is the exit to Parappa Palace. Well, eventually we'll get there. But you'll see with attack power of 7, these enemies are just a cakewalk, you know. And I don't know why I started calling this Doom Knocker or Doom Riddle or whatever the hell I called it in the first episode, but I'm pretty sure it's a Goyu or Goya or something, or maybe not. It's an enemy, and it throws things at you. At any rate, Horsehead here, which is our boss enemy for Parappa Palace, is quite easy with an attack power of 7 or 8. I just wanted to show that off. I like being ridiculously overpowered sometimes. And another reason why I wanted to save this palace for a higher experience level is because we get free experience points to the next experience level. And so we're going to get an extra 7,300 points here. So that's pretty nice. Anyways, that is going to wrap up this episode. So thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.